having things isn't fun. Getting things is fun. This is something Chris Williamson said on his most recent podcast where he reviewed 2023. And caveat, I'm a massive Chris Williamson fan, amazing podcast, Model Wisdom. But I got thinking around the narrative that he was kind of going on and all the different people that he was quoting and how those quotes kind of stack up in terms of like how we should view our life. And I kind of disagreed with the overall sentiment when we look at the materialistic side of what we work towards. So, for example, the statement, getting things is fun, having them isn't. Well, I've just bought this new car. It was actually a little bit annoying getting it, like finding it took me quite a while. There was a particular type of bodywork and paint that I wanted. So actually, in this instance, and again, context is key in so many of these conversations, getting it wasn't that enjoyable. But now that I've got it, every time I get in this car, I'm like, I love driving this car. I love this roof, the drive, like everything. I love it. So for me, having it is really good. Now, the problem I think we find with so much of these like success messages online where we're working towards things, we want to progress personally, professionally, we kind of want materialistic things in our life that are nice, like nice house, nice car, all the rest of it. And the problem is so many of these messages that get served to us are from people that have got literally everything, and they're now reflecting on their mountain of success with like 5 cars, 3 houses, you know, they can go on whatever holiday they want, and they're like, oh, having things doesn't matter. And it's like, fuck off, you've got everything you wanted and more. The problem is when you get something like a new car, so this for me, got a new car, really like it, really pumped. If I got another car, what that adds to my life in terms of satisfaction, pleasure, dopamine, depending on the car, is probably going to be not the same as what I got to this car, because the bar's already been raised. There's already a certain amount of like satisfaction floating about in my life from this kind of experience. So we don't really get that kind of same buzz. But the same could be said, like, if we got a house, like you work towards getting a beautiful house, and then when you get it, you're like, amazing, this is great, I'm loving this house, I live in it, it's beautiful, the space, etc. But if you got a second house, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I really like this, but there's nowhere near the same level of kind of satisfaction than getting the first house, which I love. That's my like number one home. So when we talk about materialistic things, I think a huge amount of satisfaction can come from that. I think the problem is a lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what happens with all these different milestones or things that we work towards. So if we're really realistic about what happens, like Chris used the example, if you won the lottery, most people are not equipped to win the lottery because they never have much money. Then they get tons of money. They don't know how to spend it. They don't have a plan. And they quite often squander it, spend so much money because they've got it that they end up spending it all and then they're left with nothing. Whereas if someone had the right kind of mindset around money, they're like, wow, okay, I've just won £6 million. Let me go away and investigate the best way to use this money. Now, if I won £6 million, I'd be like, right, okay, I'm going to buy a beautiful house to say I'm going to spend £1 million. I'm going to do it up. All in all, I'm going to spend £1.5 million. And then I'm going to put £4 million into investments that I can then live off. And let's say those investments yielded 6% year on year. You'd be living off a lot of money. You'd never have to worry about money again. And then you'd still have a little cash pot that you can invest in, spend on some nice holidays, etc. So for me, I feel, because I've done a lot of knowledge acquisition on, you know, what I would do if I had more money, because I'm planning on that, like I would know what to do with it. But for me, I have the right kind of expectations. So when we listen to like really famous people online, like Dan Bilzerian, Chris quoted a similar quote from Dan, and he was like, you know, having things isn't as fun as you think it is. And it's like, Dan Bilzerian's constantly posting of him traveling around exotic locations, buying different cars, houses, all the rest of it. And I think it comes back to that. Like, I'm sure when you did that, the first 2 or 3 times, you got a massive buzz out of it, loads of dopamine, really enjoyed it. You shared the moment with friends and family, etc. But now you're on your 50th car that you're buying, or your 50th yacht. Like, the satisfaction truly does wear off. But then it calls into the question, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And because people get caught in this game of just more, success, they never really become happy. And that's really what we're talking about. Like, most of us would be really happy with a nice house, nice car, nice holidays every year, lots of time with family, didn't have to work as much, etc. So when we talk about the materialistic and the kind of personal journey that we go on, where we bookmark stages in our life of our personal journey, it is a journey. There's no destination. Like, for example, a goal of mine at the moment is to become more present. You don't really reach a destination. You think you are a lot more present and you have a lot more awareness, but you don't ever tick it off the list. You're constantly working on it in the background, but you go on quite a significant journey where you're piecing together bits of information to help you be more present in your life. But it's like a work on in the background. And if you have a growth mindset, you're always working towards that stuff. But for me, with materialistic things, if you have the right kind of mindset and it's not more, and quite often this is attached to people getting externally validated from other people's opinions. Like, I don't need anyone's external validation of like what my car is, what my house is, what I do when I go on holiday or whatever. I do it for me and I do it for my family. So I don't need to play the game of more. I don't need to be posting it on Instagram to get likes and gratification. So I'm not playing a game. So the people that are playing a game and living in this social world and then sitting there going, doing all of this, isn't that actually that fun? It's not leading to much inner fulfillment. It's because you're playing a game. Anyway, I'll stop there. Let me know what you think. Chris, love your podcast.